gushing about it like last week when you brought it up too, but it was like, well, I don't know how much of this we can actually say, so like we should stop.
We're just holding back some of the gameplay because we're going to do it for another month or 5 weeks, so we don't want to show everything at once and have now to talk about for the 5 weeks afterwards. But so we're drip feeding it as we go. But
yeah, this is really cool to see. Also, just in general, like having Ultra Rare come back with something after just like having been working in the background is very like on point. Like for like Ultra Rare always, I feel like delivers as like over delivers and under promises, in the sense that like all of the Ultra Rare stuff I have in my collection, I never ever had the sense that there was ever going to be a game or anything like this to do with it, you know. So it's like that whole I don't know, that's just such a like classic move for like, oh, let's just spring this on people. Which I'm here for. I really like
years, and it takes us ages to build something, but we like building stuff more than we actually like selling stuff.
I mean, it takes a while to build a game we've discovered, but no, that's really nice of you to say.
I feel like it's also like you discover it while doing it, versus like the previous meta for that would have been like, you know, sell all the assets and sell the dream, and then realize how fucking difficult that is.
And then just come with some kind of staking and just leave. Isn't that the
yeah, exactly. That or like, you know, legitimately like run out of money and had gone into it with the best intentions, but at the end of the day, that like the end user result is the same as if you just rug pulled me. You know, it's like good intentions in that is like, it's on a personal note, it's nice when people have good intentions, but like on a like more real note, it's like intentions don't really matter if the end results are the same. And I do feel like over and over again, Ultra Rare's intentions are always good, and then the follow through is always like, if something is a misstep, there's a active retribution for it, or like active like resolution. Like I know, like I participated in like pretty much all the, like for people who are less familiar with modern Ultra Rare, there was like back in the day, like the, you know, drops that maybe didn't sell out, it was like, okay, well then they were closed, the excess was burned, stuff was airdropped to people who participated in the drops. Like unlike other times where it was like, oh, the drop didn't sell out, so we just dropped the drop price or something, you know, and like fuck everybody who already So I don't know, it's just nice to see Ultra Rare back on the scene, and then like, you know, true to form, coming in hot with some like something to put out there that we're not like, oh, come, you know, invest in our pipe dream. It's like, hey, we've been building, here's something fucking cool. And it not only involves Ultra Rare, but literally everything on the chain.
That's good for the entire ecosystem.
Yeah,
that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I think that was that, just a sort of lots of nice things. So it's always nice to talk to you, Max. You're always very nice about us. But I think it was, you know, kind of our thing was that, like, we wanted to do something for the community, and we wanted to do something. We felt like, like the space had been quite a lot of negativity and stuff, and we felt like it's an opportunity to do something positive. And, you know, we've all got a lot of stuff in our wallets that we can't do anything with, and we're like, well, you know, how can we give utility to all this stuff? So yeah, I think we sort of come at it from a different angle. You know, we are collectors. We're not just trying to like rinse people. It's our sort of trying to do something fun and positive and wholesome.
It definitely is like as a collector myself too, you know, it is such a fun experience to play a game. So Lewis has had, to give context, Lewis has had like beta access kind of, or alpha access, I'm not sure which.
We're not sure which, to be honest.
But it is really cool because you're making like a deck, and you're making it with whatever the fuck you want from your collection. And then you're going up against other decks that can be made by somebody else who's a collector. And so then you see like the in-game artwork, and it looks fucking cool because, like, first, it's not just pictures, like the videos are animated, like the cards are moving, and like, I don't know, it looked really fucking cool. And it's such a fun way to like show off your collection. And like Lewis and I say this relatively often, but like the whole fucking point of like having a rare or a high like value NFT is like the same as like having a rare or high value like sports car or like clothes or something, like you want to show it off. Like the point is to pull up at the club in that fucking car, not just to like have it in your garage. So like this is like the digital equivalent of like I can take my NFTs out of my garage or wallet and put them in like, you know, into these decks and play this game and then pull up at the club and like show it off. Like that's exciting to me. Like that, because that like embodies the whole thing as a collector that I want. You know, it's like I bought a digital Lambo. I want to fucking pull up to the club now.
John, write this down.
That's good, isn't it? It's good. I like it. It's all Lambos pulling up to the club now. I'm looking at it.
I don't know. It's just that's like the analogy I think of, because it's like, yeah, I don't know. I always like using the Lambo because Lambo is, it's such a like ethos in the crypto space, like Lambo, right? So it's like, well, like you get it. Like it's the same way when people are like, oh, here's like a audit snapshot where it's like, oh, here, like, you know, this person says we have these money and backings and stuff. It's like, well, that's like me saying I have a Lambo and you can come look in my garage on Wednesday at 3 p.m. It's like, sure, there's a Lambo in there. It doesn't mean I own it. But, you know.
I'm going to make a deck of Lambos now, because that's one thing you can do. You can make a deck of anything you want, just random pictures and create your...
That's something else we were sort of like, you know, our thing is about, you know, encouraging creativity and, you know, like, so anybody, it's not even just like NFTs you own. You can like go and just make, like, actually just make your own NFTs, make your own.
Oh.
So you can...
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's sort of like, so that was kind of like one of our things, and that's why we didn't want to like gatekeep it in any way, or like, do you know what I mean? Because we sort of debated, or do we do we sort of use every NFT, or do we have some sort of system? But we felt like actually what we want is we want to encourage people to create and just have fun, and like, do you know what I mean? And just to sort of build on top of what we're doing.
If you looked in my Atomic wallet at the moment, you'd find some truly horrendous Everton football team NFTs, because I've made a deck of my favourite football team just to beat John's decks.
Me and Richie, I'm a Manchester United fan, so I've made a Man United deck, completely infringing on all kinds of copyright, but you know, it's just for my own perversions.
I saw those in the PvP challenge. One of those decks, I was like, what are these NFTs like?
I hope Everton beat you, the Mighty Blues. So
I think I lost a lot when I was trying to do the PvP. My deck is also like all mismatched, because I was just choosing the ones with the highest like numbers. When you first import your cards, they get different scores for how powerful they are. So mine just like a huge variety of my collection, but I think like the move is to use what's best at first, so you can win games. Then you like earn Metabattler points, which you can then take out of the cards. And then I feel like once you get those cards leveled up, you can take them out and then put them into the cards you actually want to show off. So you can be like, grind out for the points. And then the real flex is like having a full set of like one collection as a deck. And then all of those are like maxed out. So I feel like that's what I'm going to be grinding towards.
Well, we're going to have two, like, it's quite basic, the PvP that you've got going on at the moment. You can only challenge passively decks, but there will be tournaments and there'll be more live play. So at that point, that's when you're going to want your funky NFTs, whatever collection. That's when you're going to want that one to, when you're on stream, you're going to want, you're not going to want just your highest scoring ones. You're going to want your funniest ones or whatever.
Yeah, so it's saying that there's the troll element to it as well, you know, kind of like make these sort of like really stupid decks, but you're like, they're super powerful and you're just beating everyone. So we think there's like loads of fun that can sort of be had with it. And
that was the first thing that I'm the KY is like someone in our community who like we were talking about this chimed in the chat, and he was like, his first thought was like, oh, can I make a final boss deck that's just all Alien World shovels?
Yeah,
100%. We actually encourage that.
But you know, I don't know if you're aware, John started designing feet NFTs about a year and a half ago. We've got a lot of weird different.
We've got a very interesting community, shall I say?
That was like
that's a nice way to say it.
Yeah. I'm not I'm no kink shaming here.
But this is the whole reason that John wanted to just get a deck full of different types of feet, so he could stomp all over you in Metabattler.
Oh, that's good.
It was the long con.
It's also just very long con.
It's fun for people like who are like deep in these like spaces and are aware of these things like the feet and all that stuff. But at the same time, it also is really fucking cool for people who are much more passive and like much less exposed to the community to then be able to PvP challenge somebody and come across like insane shit, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Because honestly, like, like, you know, I've been doing NFT shit for a long time, so I like don't really think it's that hard to find stuff. But like, if you're approaching this as like a brand new person who got into this kind of stuff from gaming specifically too, not from like a crypto background, it's not super trivial to like find, you know, indie projects or find like cool, like I don't know, surfing the market. There isn't like an explore function in these markets that really works for me as a like, oh, this is showing me stuff that I think is cool. It's always based on like, you know, volume or sales or whatever, and then it's like it pushes a lot of like the weird cool creative shit, you know, out of view for people participating in that way. So I think like, you know, this Metabattler kind of platform is a really cool way for somebody who's maybe a lot less like savvy to this, to like come in with what they already know, have their deck, and then challenge a PvP person and come across some like, you know, feat and be like, what is it?
That's kind of part of the thing as well. So say your collection yourselves, you built yourself some Neon Space decks to show off, and as a collaborators, we can amplify that a little bit as well. But also, say you play against somebody after the match, they'll be able to look in on them and they'll just be able to click links straight to your collection. So you'll be able to, so yeah, if they like what they've seen from a randomly that they've played against you, they can go straight to the market.
So almost like a sales thing as well, you know, you sort of like marketing your stuff. And so I think we got like there's lots of, which is one of the reasons it's taken us longer than we sort of anticipated, is because I suppose we've interrogated all aspects of it, and it's kind of like everything we've like looking at it, it's all from the point of view of a collector, and it's trying to make everything collectible, and how do we sort of make collectors happy, and that sort of like, and everything we've gone through that lens. But it's meant that more work, you know, because it's kind of, oh well, we could do it this way, but this way is more difficult, but actually we think it's better for collectors and gamers, but you know what I mean, kind of like rather than people chasing sort of returns, is sort of
we are building for creators, because obviously if we can get creators and streamers on board as well,
creators and collectors sort of go hand in hand.
It's if they're all happy, if they're all playing it, then it helps bring the whole community to have awareness of Metabattler.
Yeah, it's definitely, I really like the prospect there of like the it's like, oh, like you're saying, it's like it has the marketing like capacity, but it also doesn't feel like you're playing a game and you're like,
it's not insidious. It's quite like, you know, it's and that's not like going to be for everybody, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like if you're a project owner, you could do that, and it's kind of like that's a way to show people your work, or do you know what I mean? But obviously, not everyone has to use it like that. But it's just something you could do.
Let's see. I also like, as a last side note here about like the functionality of it, I like that I have all the shit is still in my wallet. I'm not like staking it somewhere or like even signing like it over in a way that like scares me as like a, you know, security, like operational security.
We probably need to come up with a better word, because we're calling it uploading NFTs into the game, because you are uploading them into the database to get the stats and everything, but they're not leaving your wallet in any way, shape, or form.
No, we're not fans of that.
No. I don't want to look after your NFTs. You can keep them. I don't want that.
Also, exactly. Close things down and, you know, everything. So it's sort of like you sign in with your wallet, so we can sort of scan your wallet. And that's it, really. Then I don't think there's anything more sort of.
And that's how it should be, because that's like fundamentally what the blockchain is like, oh, it's like an open, like public repository of information. Like, you don't need me to send the actual units to you. You can just look at the open thing and read the blockchain like in real time. So it's like, why have the redundancy of like a custodial staking thing? I love that.
While we're crowing about technology, I'll just throw one more thing in. There's like, no, you're not going to need a load of CPU or anything like that either. You have to sign up. You log your wallet in, and once you've logged your wallet in, that's it. There's no transactions. We have to, when we're sending prizes, obviously we need a bit of CPU, but you guys don't to play it.
But that's another thing where it's like, oh, now it's accessible and participatable on like any level. Like, you don't have to have a 10,000 wax stake wallet. Although,
and accessibility was a big thing for us, because we know that like our community is so kind of diverse that we wanted the game to be kind of like, you know, super intuitive, really simple. So it doesn't matter where you come from, or how old you are, even. You can just, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, anyone can play it. I mean, the game as it develops will kind of like, will build complexity onto the sort of, into the game mechanics. But fundamentally, you know, it's, you know, it should be.
Yeah, the bones are definitely there.
Yeah.
As like I watched Lewis play. I mean, we can watch Lewis play live here in a second, so people who
I
haven't
don't know
seen
if we're
maybe
showing off game footage.
if we're allowed to show that or no.
We're keeping the
No?
gameplay back for a little bit because we need. There's an update.
Okay.
There's an
I'm
update coming.
overpromising
You like soon. Which,
overstepping.
Well, pushing your luck there.
Yeah, we haven't.
It's like, well, maybe it is.
We'll show you some stuff and sort of show kind of like the uploading process and kind of like, I think Richie will do it live, or we can show you something. Yeah, we're holding the game footage back a bit. We like to build up, you know, ahead of Steam.
And someone in the chat is asking, can we use SDP Owls NFTs to battle?
I think that owls are the perfect predators to be battling on Metabattler, aren't they?
Is it a wax project? I've not.
Yeah, as long as it's on wax, that's the one.
Yeah, if it's a wax
one
project,
thing for now.
Use it, yeah.
Caveat.
And if people are like, if there's anyone in the chat or anyone who's watching, you know, if they run a project, we've got it so people apply, and then we'll sort of add projects, and basically they'll be like our collaborators, and they'll get better benefits rather than any random stuff. You'll be able to use it, but it's not going to get you like the best multipliers and stuff. So we want people who are sort of engaged with the project to sort of benefit from it.
Yeah, perfect.
You said it is on wax, so yes, you will be able to use your SDP Owls.
Fill out their application and get it, and we'll get it boosted. And we're super like open as well to people. We're like open to big, you know, big projects, small, whatever. We want it to be super open to the community, and but yeah, we want people engaged with it.
They're asking, where do you apply? Is there a Discord or like what's?
We're not on Discord. We've finally spat our dummy with Discord. We are in Telegram, but I'll find you the link.
We'll put a link in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other way that
I'm getting more into Telegram too now, but I feel like continuing that thread is going to sidetrack the shit out of us. So let me just.
Something Composer was telling me, which he's like the developer behind it. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, so correct me if I'm wrong, but he basically said like the ceiling on like ultra rare and partner collections are higher than any random NFT. So like there's a ceiling for how good it can be when you upload it or whatever it's called. So like if you are using just a random collection, you can't upload, but it'll never initially reach the heights of what you can get from one of either the ultra rare collections or partner collections. But you should still be able to upgrade it that high if you grind with it, right? Like if you
100%, yeah.
The Metabattler cards have got a slightly higher chance, like a slightly higher percentage of starting off as strong levels. Then the ultra rare, the ultra horrors ones have got a slightly less. Your collaborators, such as yourself, have got slightly less than that, and then everything else, I think you can maybe, you've got like a 1% chance of being up in the 40 to 50s if you've got everything else, but while ultra rare's got a slightly higher chance. But
yeah, obviously we wanted to sort of, it's not obscene now, but we obviously wanted to privilege our collectors. Yeah. And you know,
that totally makes sense.
You know what I mean?
It sounds like I'm hearing though that even though I'm using like an NFT that isn't like, that's just like, you know, an ultra rare that is just like an Alien World shovel, I could grind it up to make it the most beefy thing ever if I just.
You could just level it up. Once you make it pause, you can.
It'll start at a lower level, but I can grind that shovel up until that shovel is like, you know, the shovel of 1,000 truths.
Yeah, 100%. But you sort of like you can harvest cards. So when you earn Metabattler points, they go into the cards rather than it's kind of split between your sort of in-game wallet and the cards. So you can harvest the cards. So you can pull all the Metabattler points out of the cards and then put them into whatever cards you want. There's a caveat though that whatever the card resets to level 1. So if you were like imported it when it's a level 30, 40, you lose those levels. So it's kind of like a bit of risk rewards sort of thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta choose how to grind.
Yeah,
it's funny enough. Like,
hell yeah!
We talk about tokenomics. We've got it's an in-game token. It's not a real token. We're not. It's not a crypto token. That's in. although we've got ridiculous sinks for it, I think we could actually, we've built the economy around the in-game token as if it was a token. It's like there's quite a lot of use cases that we've got it, so you're locking up your token in cards, etc.
Yeah, it was sort of like we felt like that really. A lot of the projects is sort of like token first, game second, and we thought that's not the way to build a game. Like we want to build the best game we can build, and then, you know, if we feel that a token would add something to the game, to the community and stuff, then we would, you know, consider it then, but not before we understand our player base, before we understand our economy. To me, it's sort of like that's not the way it should be done. But, you know, I guess we do things a bit differently as well to the sort of the rest in the space sometimes. So
yeah,
and you can also you can earn NFTs. So people are like, what can I get for playing this? I think there'll be leaderboards, and then based on the leaderboards, there's distribution of NFTs. And I still don't know how that works yet because there hasn't been that in the demo since I've been playing it. But
well, actually, we need to tell you.
Have you not won any NFTs?
No, we're going to change this because you need to go into settings and select the wallet you want airdrops to. We're going to change it so automatically, like when people sign up, they can get the drops. Because there's going to be two distribution methods. There's going to be one which competing on the leaderboards, you win certain like rarer NFTs and what have you. Then there's going to be a big prize pool of collectibles where for every you're beating unique levels in the towers, the more levels you beat, the higher percentage chance you've got of getting NFTs dropped to you. So we used to do Alien Worlds mining events. It's slightly built on similar-ish premises of that, except for there's a little bit more skill to it and more gameplay to it, and it's more built on how many levels you beat, how far you progress, increases the chances of you earning these NFTs.
Yeah. What did I say?
So the game will be fun. There's loads of fun stuff around it, and also the more you play, the more chance you got of getting dropped. Sort of like, you know, the new collection NFTs from the new collection that we're doing, and stuff.
And it's possible in the future too that maybe like the partner like collaborators would also potentially drop rewards to or through the gaming mechanics. I imagine.
Very much could be that. There's a lot we can. There's a lot we can do. It's hard to describe without us showing off like the towers that you're going to be competing on. But yeah, there's all sorts of unique towers, like individual towers and prize pools and all those that kind of use people's art, music, all that, everything like that we can customize.
There can also be like specific restrictions for some, because there's one in there right now where like you need the 666 card, right? So like,
spoiler alert.
I don't know if I was allowed to say that, but I think you guys said that in Telegram when somebody asked about if you'd need that to play.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Okay,
we wanted to.
We can lock towers to certain. We could lock it to certain NFTs, like you need 30 horrors cards or whatever. But yeah, we're going to have it set up from the start where the 666 card has its own specific tower that you can play on and win specific prize, increase your chances of winning prizes.
Nice. I had 3 of those, but I sent one to Lewis since he had the.
Yeah, I wanted to test it out. I was like, I need one of these for that.
I was like, I have a 666 card you can have.
Did you use it as your avatar?
I did not use it as an avatar.
Ah, okay. So something fun might happen if you do that.
I'll have to try that out.
Little
nice. I was gonna say I got mine on wax from just I think that was like the first time I've ever seen where I had it on ETH, and then I was able to like mint the same mint number and everything on wax and get that one. And then I scooped a few other ones just on wax. Like over time, some people listed it for way too little, so I've just been scooping those. And then Lewis was like, "Oh, I don't have one of these, but it's locking up one of the towers." So I was like, "Oh, do you want one? Because I have multiples."
Not cheap anymore either.
I mean, mine are listed for like 66,000 wax or something. Like I scoop them for like 25, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not trying to sell these, but I will flex that I have them by listing them for absurd numbers.
Yeah, well, I think you'll be getting a few other things for them as well. We always said that we'd give value to those because they're like the long term, the ultra rare primo, which
I think
There's a few other
I'm
things.
always a fan. I like the idea always of like the lifetime membership things, but then like in practice, I'd say most projects that's been a bad idea. But I still think for ultra rare, I'm like I said, I was scooping more of them over times. Like for ultra rare, I'm on board.
We're not going to say, oh, we're definitely going to provide loads of things all the time for this.
Yeah.
But every time we do something, big launch or something, we like to reward the whole.
I think it's just cool. Like you need that, and you can only play in hell if you've got the 666 card. We just thought it's like a cool. I think the holders will be like that's like a nice touch.
Yeah. Oh, Andre says he only has the wax one. I wonder if eventually there'll be like special things for like specifically ETH 666 holders, because again, the game's NFT participations can be chain agnostic, since it isn't. That's.
We have a lot of big plans on that, but we also are aware it's taken us 18 months to get this far, so we're not going to stop promising.
No promises on anything.
As usual, under promising and over delivering. That's true to form. The ultra rare way.
I'm gonna quickly play the video that there's Composer, right, that does all the face swap stuff. I'm gonna play the video that he made for us. Then maybe if you guys want to share off a deck building or something, we can do that. But
the twisted mind of NFT Composer.
Are you ready? Today on Neon Space, we have ultra rare Richie. We also have ultra rare John.
I wish I went back there.
There's Max on the bank.
That's my favorite bit.
Look at that good-looking guy. I look pretty like uninterested too. I'm just like, ugh.
It's just like everything else is like animated. It's just a Photoshop at the end.
That's when the AI just gave up. It was like, all right, I'm done.
That was also AI of my voice. That kind of sounds a lot like me, so my job's about to be taken by AI.
He sort of ripped that from somewhere. Okay, that's worrying.
That's impressive what those AIs can do.
Yeah,
also, I mean, your voice is on stream for hours and hours, so I feel like it wouldn't be impossible to train an AI.
Yeah, to train an AI
perfectly
There's
imitate you.
Lots of hours of us to go teach them.
Yeah. Oh, what up? Burst is in the chat too. What's going on?
It's
the plant game is up to par.
Richie's taken up a new hobby. What do you call it, Richie? And he's got like a little in his house, like a little sort of conservatory. I don't know what you guys would call that, but like a little,
like a greenhouse.
Yeah, kind of in the house with your chairs. Yeah, I don't know if there's another word for it, but it's
attached to the. It's a very like British thing, like a conservatory,
Conservatory.
But it's full of. It's like a jungle in there. It's full of plants. So he's taken up like I don't know botany or something.
But yeah.
Do you grow anything like that you can harvest and eat, or is it all like just smelling and aesthetic plants?
Maybe the kids did it last year in the garden. We've had some broccoli and whatnot, but I don't have the greatest garden, so I've just been. We also don't have the greatest climate, so I've just been growing it in my conservatory. A load of plants that I'm trying not to kill. I'm an enthusiastic amateur. I'm pretty shit, really.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I look
at a picture.
It is.
But yeah, that's the thing. Richie's always got plants in the background, and they're sort of becoming more and more dominant, I think.
Interesting. So how large is this conservatory? Can you walk into it, or is it more like a tabletop size thing?
It's like, I think it's like 10 foot by 10 foot. It's got a couple of chairs in there and what have you. And then
you'll have a sit in there and have a beer on a sunny day. It's kind of like you can
I see.
Armchairs.
Okay, so it's like a winter garden.
I think that probably is something like that was what you'd call it. Yeah.
It sounds very fancy for what it is, though, doesn't it? Just come into my winter garden.
Yeah, my winter garden. That is pretty balling.
I'm going to start calling it that. Richie's got his winter garden.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right. Right. That's cool. Damn.
Yeah, a
That's
bit of
awesome.
context for his plant, sort of. So it's a bit of a meme in our community, which
Well, also, I don't have the fancy bloody gaming room that John's got in his background.
Oh, yeah. My little man cave.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have a full on like what is it, like an arcade machine back there? Arcade game.
Yeah,
That's badass. What game is that? Or is it like a mix of games?
it's Turtles in Time. Just
Oh hell yeah.
classic arcade.
TMNT. That's a
I
good
did
one.
buy. I bought. I've got nowhere to put it, but I bought a Street Fighter one the other day.
Hell yeah.
My other half is not super impressed about that. But
It doesn't fit right next to the Turtles in Time. It looks like there's a spot. No.
The door opens, so like
Yeah.
So.
I was gonna say that's just like the
I'll
logical spot.
find somewhere for it. I'll find. It's got Street Fighter 2. Got to be done.
That's a good one too. Shit, yeah.
Classic.
Nice. Let's see. Do you want to, Liz? Do you have a video to share?
Do you want me to share? Shall I share the screen and we'll upload some?
Yeah, I'm
NFTs or
curious to
something?
see.
Right, let's.
I mean, I know what it looks like a bit, but I'd like to see. I feel like I don't know how much have you showed off already of like the gameplay and stuff.
Yeah, we did a couple of videos, but we haven't actually showed anything live yet. We're going to start our own stream in the next week or so, and then we'll be dropping a few more.
Ooh. All right, let's see how.
So it's gonna be absolute chaos.
Yes.
So I'm not clicking on all these work, but we're not showing off the PvE and PvP and what have you yet. Oh, actually, on the leaderboard, but we will show what you got to do first. You've got to upload the NFTs you want to.
And just all of this is all working. Oh, by the way, like it's all sort of obviously it's developing. We constantly developing it, but it's everything. The game is ready to go.
I thought, given that we're here, we may as well upload a deck of a Neon Space.
It's got to be done.
And ultra rare ones in particular, ultra rare Neon Space ones.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've got 237. You can only upload 30 at a time, so I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, so you need 30 NFTs for a deck. You can have more, but sort of 30 is the minimum you need.
How is there a maximum, or is it 32?
No, I'm not sure. I think it might be 100. You can have in a deck. I don't think there is a limit to it, really.
But then once you upload, you get your nice little. We're trying to recreate the like pack opening experience.
Yeah. I love that too. It's like it's very like scratches that like pack opening like RNG itch because like you're hoping for like the big stats pull, but you get to do it with like artwork that you already like have collected and have an affinity for. I definitely liked the upload experience. It's fun.
Slow, Rich. It's usually
going extremely slow here. I'm not sure why.
Might be all the interference from all the plants. It's like the happening. They're like doing some weird shit to you.
They're absorbing the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it will go a lot quicker than this. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I watched Lewis did it was definitely like 5 or 6 times faster. It was like boop, 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 boop. But
Golden Magic's asking what ultra rare cards do you need to play? You can play with like any cards whatsoever. But if you've got the 666 card, it gives you access to a tower that nobody else will be able to access.
Yeah. And we are going to be releasing a whole new collectible set called Metabattler. You don't need them.
We haven't really talked about that, but I guess it's sort of implicit, but I don't know if it's obvious. But we've got a brand new collection. It's sort of like it's sort of our version of superheroes. Yeah. So if you look in the background, you can kind of see all the characters. So that's what you've got in the background there. So there'll be a brand new collectible set.
So then each card, just know that obviously that's a good one. 43 legendary starting.
Yeah, that's
level.
really good.
Yeah.
I also like on the right you have like a little meme that kind of like if you don't know if it's good or bad, just like look at the meme. It's like, oh, that wasn't good.
Yeah, they've got different levels again. Like opening a pack, it's got the different levels of.
Yeah, the power is like in the top left, and there's also different elements.
Yeah.
And then the bottom left is your actual mint number from your NFT. So that's cool too. So people can see what mint you're working with.
Yeah,
Gandalf's happy about that one.
Well, the developer is as like is as numbers obsessed as I am. So we've got quite a lot of like leaderboards and mint numbers type things for collectors, all integrated into the game. Yeah. So you can.
There we go. Oh man, you're getting a bunch of. Oh, okay, there you go.
7.
Nacho Libre was happy
Number
about that.
Oh, number one there.
Yeah.
I love the meme thing on the right where it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
Joey's stoked.
But it does come in handy. It's a nice 48.
There you go. Wow,
If you
48.
obviously, I'm uploading 30 here. You might want to upload 60 or 90 or 100 rates, so then you don't have to play with your really terribly rated ones. You can do, and you can rank them up, but because what's annoying is you've got yourself a mint number one, like a 1 of 1 card. You upload that, you're going to want to play with that card, but it's got as much chance of having a terrible ranking as it does have a good ranking. So yeah.
Oh, there you go. That rare one got a good. Oh yeah, here you go. That one got a bad one.
There's a number
One.
as bad as it gets. So yeah, and then once you've done that, you've got gives you all your rankings of what you got.
Yeah, and then you can keep uploading more and more and keep ripping packs and then eventually have like a big stack of high ranked guys and make a deck.
Or you can just go. Then that's when you need at least 30 cards, and then you these are the decks that I have got already. Because I've been playing quite a long time, so I've knocked myself up some good decks. But yeah, you can just at this point you name your deck. There's only avatars are going to be something special in the game. Only certain cards can be made as an. Oof! Since when's it put a charge on to create?
Sneaky.
I didn't realise that they create a new deck as a cost of meta battle points. Oh, you meta battler points. That's how many I've got up. Yeah, then you just select all the cards that what you want, and you can just.
I guess I was asking a few questions. So, but every single NFT that exists on WAX, you can use in the game. That's kind of like what I think makes the game really unique. You know, that's kind of like the point of it. So, yeah, but you can only upload a card once, and once a card's been uploaded, that's it. Even if you transfer it, sell it, it keeps that same sort of score meta battler points. Sort of. Yeah. So what we do imagine will happen sort of when we're up and running is that obviously if a card's full of meta battler, so if you've got 2 NFTs that are identical, if one of them's full of meta battler points, we imagine it'll be worth more. It would make sense.
Yeah.
But if you have a really rare card, you've uploaded it and it gets a terrible rating, but then you sell it to somebody else, they can't re-upload it. Those stats stick to that card.
Yeah. Well, like so when they upload it, it'll have the same terrible rating.
It will already, as soon as if they've got it in their wallet, it'll come straight into theirs rather than they can't reset it and upload.
What about if I like leveled the card up a bunch and then sold it and you upload it?
Yes, then they keep the points because the points are attached to that card.
Not just the sort of level, the actual, because if you look at I guess Richie could show you sort of if you look at cards, they have like MVP sort of infused into them, which you can then sort of harvest. So like that one's got 141 meta battler points in it.
So if I sold that card to John, he would get that card, it'd be ranked 77, and it'd have 141 meta battlers still attached to it in his wallet.
Oh damn!
So all the information
That's
sort of stays with the NFC, yeah.
And this is how you can you can spend the meta. But I have a 75 meta battler points there in my wallet. I can spend it to rank these cards up. So that was a 71. It's now a 73. But,
the max level is 100, right?
Yeah.
For now, we sort of
There's going to be additional gameplay, which. The deck building aspect of it, but for now, we're at that. Yeah,
so ultimately, where we think that the game will sort of develop into is a sort of roguelike deck builder. I don't know if you're familiar with that kind of game genre, but it's like one of our favorites. We've been smashing Balatro lately. I don't know if you guys have played that.
I don't know about that one.
It's kind of like it's like a card game. Like it's based on poker, but it's kind of like it's like a roguelike deck builder. So you collect jokers, they give you buffs, and
okay,
keep beating the blind. It's like
fun.
really, really sort of super addictive, really good game. And I think that was being quite influential over like where we want to take our game.
Yeah. One of the reasons we're not showing off the gameplay at the moment is because there is going to be a shop for buffs, etc. But that's not live at this moment in time, so we don't want to show off. Well, we don't want to show what isn't there just yet, but it will be coming.
And the buffs are like attached to specific cards that you pull while you're playing. Then
it'll be attached to the deck, so you can it'll influence the deck depending on what the buffs are.
Yeah, so you'll go on sort of like you'll take a run at the tower, and then each boss you beat, you'll sort of be able to like sort of level up your deck and add, but it will be specific to that run. So you'll be able to like add more firepower, add more health, kind of like basic stuff, but there'll be more sort of more interesting and fun kind of mechanics that will implement over time. And also take cards from the boss's decks as well, so you can play with NFTs you don't own. Again, that's we like the idea of like exposing people to different art and stuff like that as well, but kind of like so that kind of like that's really fun. Somebody's saying Slay the Spire is like that's like one of my all-time favorite games. So but we had to be Slay the Spire was kind of like one of our very first sort of reference points, but because the complexity comes with building a game where every single NFT can be used, we had to make the game had to be quite simple to sort of, if that makes sense, to sort of the complexity. It's in that concept of I see. If it was sort of like a proper like trading card game, I don't think you'd have the same thing,
Yeah, because you have to have way more control, I guess, over like what's in
like what exactly. So it needs to be a bit more sort of open.
Which is another reason why we've kept the token in game rather than having a real token to start with, because we don't, because we think there might be ways that it can get gamed with all these different NFTs and what have you. So we want to have a little bit of test time. What we don't want to do is launch a token. People spend a load of money either on the token or something to get the token, and then we have to nerf it or balance it or
that's a big thing. That's just the big reality of game development in general, is that the meta is evolving, and so like when there's like cash assets involved in that, I can get very muddy very fast.
I also don't want to sit in my group and have people saying, "Why is the price going down? What's going on?
I think it's counter to making a good game. You're sort of driven by like token prices and stuff like that's not what we want to sort of be driving us. We want to make something fun and like we think giving utility to every NFT like that's enough. Like
that is that's fun. That's cool. That's like. It's accessible too, which is like it's an easy sell compared to
it's kind of like the same approach when we did our collectibles. We like you say, we underpromised, and it's sort of like we never told people these are going to be worth this and that. It was like buy it if you like it, if you don't. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's like I was saying earlier, it's like I bought them because I liked them, not because there was ever the notion that there would be like a battler game that I'd be able to play with them. That's just icing on the cake, which is really nice. Icing is the best part of the cake, But with the stats that these cards have in game, since that's all like in game and like server side information that isn't part of the blockchain, is there a way to query that kind of database so I could look up something that's on the market and see, what is its Metabattler stats before I scoop it?
We 100% want that building. We've discussed it so many times. It's on the to-do list, but it's not going to be there for...
It won't be there for launch, but it is like a marketplace where you'll be able to see the ranking and the Metabattler points in the cards. Yeah, it feels like we kind of have to
And if someone wants to budget
or even just a checker where it's like, I put in an asset ID and it tells me what it's got, or even if it has or has not been uploaded yet.
We might get somebody else to budget for us on a really just a quick, say, just a tracker to start with before we make it all.
Yeah, it might be something
that does sound like a community-made thing as well.
In the sort of interim, but it is on our sort of roadmap. To build a marketplace, but we focused on the gameplay and getting that right, and that's our priority.
But no, it makes sense, because if we want people to be able to sell and buy the cards without and know what's attached to
because
them,
we're aware of the space we're in. I mean, we do do sort of go, I guess, a bit counterintuitive to stuff, but like we do know that
it does add that play to earn utility effectively.
And in a way we think that's kind of less destructive than a token like it could be to sort of a game ecosystem, and
not only that, it also just it benefits the entire ecosystem again, because it is available to every NFT out there. So it's like somebody who wants to like put the effort into like leveling up their Alien World shovel to like top 100 level 100, like that shovel might sell for more than the 0.002 wax you bought it for, which that is like a big prospect in the space, of Web3 gaming. So
is there a way to see, like, this might be kind of the same question, but like if you're playing against someone and they play a really cool NFT and you see it, is there a way to like find that NFT on a marketplace? Like, is it linked in game anywhere?
In the PvP part of it, you'll be able to, at the end of the battle, there's the results section of it. And then at that point, you'll be able to click on the NFT, and it should be able to take you to their collection or the card.
And so, like, if you click into sort of like an NFT image and sort of make it large on screen, it's got all market links to that NFT as well. So,
cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that should be a way too, if people want to trade. Like, say someone does have a beefed up NFT, and you're like, I want that one specifically. Like, if the asset's actually linked in the game, then you can be like, I'm going to trade for this one, not just some random one on the market. That way you don't get...
That's a great, I never even thought about that. Yeah, that's a great idea,
that's dope. So it is already kind of built in, huh? To a small degree.
Yeah, so there's probably ways that you could do it, but it doesn't have like a specific interface.
I feel like this answer is per asset.
It is, because you're uploading. If you've got 100 Alien World shovels, you could upload all 100 Alien World shovels, and each one would be individually given the element and the stat each time it's uploaded. So
that would also mean that you could find Alien World shovels that have never been uploaded, and you still got the dice roll.
I'd imagine there will be, as there's 30 million of those. Something stupid, isn't there?
Successes once all of them are.
That's the sort of like most, I guess, like kind of the Alien World shovels. Like,
I'm gonna have an Alien World shovel, a Farmer's World axe. I'm gonna have really fancy NFTs.
The rug pulled tools deck.
But that's.
I also just.
I was going to say
some fucking hard
talking about rug pulls as well. Sorry, I just talked over you there. I'm very rude. But all the rug pulls, there's no blacklisted, nothing like that. It's kind of like that was. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's quite funny as well. Anyway, so I do apologize.
I agree. That's super fun. I was also like saying the same thing. Like, just the fun of like that deck building from just the collector standpoint is really exciting prospect to me. Like I have some. Like, or I guess there's people out there who have like, say, you could make a whole deck of like blockchain brawler one of ones, which is like hard flex to go up against some deck like that, or like a bunch of like wax apes, or I don't know what I'm trying to think of, like high value NFTs.
I did an upload on Twitter the other day, just like all the different a video of like 30 different NFTs, and I snuck in the so shitty toilet. So you can have a deck of crappy toilets.
Is that from the Saw? Oh, I have one of those too. I had to when that came out. I was like, I told myself I would try to play the game, but I just wanted the toilet. I never actually played the game.
I mean, I think there'll be people who just sort of like don't even play the game, just make decks. Do you know what I mean? I think that like that, because it's almost like a game in itself. Like
Yeah, like
together all
6-bit
year.
glitch saying he's gonna make his tourist deck. I'm looking forward to seeing your tourist deck because like
Yeah, no, that'd be
I know
cool.
he has NFTs in that collection that I have never seen, and
Well,
it's
what
like
I wanted to happen is though you two, as a streamer, to stick your link up, and so he can come on and challenge your deck. So whatever deck you've got, he's coming. He can play on stream with him. That's part of what we're PvP.
See, I'm planning to make like a full naked neon deck where like every one of them is like a naked rarity neon, and I think
I spent a
that'll look
lot of
cool and
time
be fun.
building decks in the demo, and I kept finding more and more collections. I was like, oh, John and Richie have some insane decks in the PvP list. I'm like, I need to get higher level cards if I want to even try to compete with those. So I spent a lot of time trying to just upload NFTs.
We've been testing for a long time on this, to be fair.
Yeah.
But that's also like the thing I was saying earlier about like how it encourages like showing off the NFTs in a way that just doesn't exist really in the NFT space. Like, the best thing I can think of is like going to the market and just, I don't know, scrolling randomly, or seeing what like new drops are happening or something. But even that is like, that's not the same as like what have people collected and have a passion for, where this is more that. This is like, here's a community of what people are actively collected and excited about showing off enough that they made it into a deck. And like,
we're hoping that
cool.
every time there's a Funko drop, we're hoping we're suddenly going to see a load of new decks drop of whatever Funko drop or something like that. If you release a set, as soon as it's released, people will be like, "All right, that's cool. I've completed a set. Now I'm going to turn it into a deck." Because I think the Funko crowd, they need something to do with their NFTs as well.
Yeah, for real. I still have my full royalty set from like the TMNT drop, the like first one they ever did. Yeah. I'm proud of that drop. I collected that. I had so much fun doing that too. Like, so to turn it now into a deck, and then like, like there's so many Funko collectors, especially on like drop day, when you're completing those sets, you have like many duplicates of all those. So now like another thing to add on to like the fun of that drop day, on top of like trading and stuff, is like, revealing the Metabattlers like power of each of your fucking duplicates. And I don't know, it's just it's really cool. It definitely like, like revealing the battler points is like a secondary pack opening, which pretty much everybody who collects NFTs, I feel like, gets an itch scratched by, ripping a pack. So I really love the like importing NFT kind of function. Also, just being able to scoop something off the market that maybe is already like beefed up or something, and like not knowing about it would be fun. Although I imagine that probably won't happen without without somebody fat fingering or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I think there's a lot of things to like the way this is set up that are like game and kind of like general community first, which is just like really exciting to me. Even if you're not like you're saying, even if you're not like someone who's gonna like be interested in playing, like just looking at decks and making decks, I think is already like a fun element of this. And I don't know, I'm just excited about it. It's cool.
Even more fun when you see your name above John on the leaderboards that we've got going as well.
You don't see that very often though, Richie, to be fair. So
don't make me sure to share the screen again. Speed runs.
We've got on one of the leaderboards is like a speed run. So you sort of obviously like who completes the tower fastest. But that, when we were sort of, whilst we've been testing, that's been quite competitive, hasn't it, Richie?
It certainly has. We've all been having a blitz on that.
Oh yeah, everybody loves the leaderboard, right? How are you on the leaderboard, Liz?
I was on one of the individual tower leaderboards when I beat it. There's also not that many people beta testing it, so it's not that hard to get on the leaderboard.
Well, there's different leaderboards. There's all time, and there's like in the last 7 days. The all-time ones are a lot more competitive than the ones for the last 24 hours, because obviously there's not that many people playing.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, 6-bit. That's high praise from 6-bit glitch. I totally agree. This definitely like invigorates my NFT collection, and like the way to like show it off and watch other people's collections in a way that hasn't existed. And I feel like honestly, it's a very exciting thing to have like on the horizon. Is there already a launch date set, or is it still TBD?
vaguely set. It's we've got it kind of in our head. It's good. We've got probably about another 5 weeks, but we know what we've got quite a bit of 5 or 6 weeks. We've got the build up that we're going to be doing. We've got quite a lot to share still. It's getting there.
It's
we're gonna be starting to drop some promos, I guess, soon, Richie.
We are indeed, and you're gonna want to collect the promos, because if you collect all the promos, you get a prize, and the prize is going to play in the game. So yeah,
well, they'll all play in the game, but the prize,
but there's something extra with the prize.
Yeah, the prize will be special.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. So one of each of the promos you want to kind of try to catch.
Yeah, we sort of like I don't know if you were around for like our very first drop with the horror series one, but we released like a series, like a promo collection, and then
we didn't get it until Alien Horrors was like the first.
Right,
one
so you sort of like series. I think we did it with. To be fair, we did it with Alien Horrors as well, but it was like with the horrors, the first one we sort of like released. I can't remember exact number, but it was like 6 or 7 promos. And you got like you got like a bonus one for collecting them. And I think we just wanted to like. I know that the space has moved on a lot since then, but there was something that time was so positive and exciting and fun. And I guess we want to try and recapture a bit of that. I'm a nostalgia, I'm a sucker for it. Like, but it's sort of like. We just wanted to go back to that place, and we'll see if people buy into it or not. But that's kind of what we wanted to do. So,
I'm
so keep an eye out for those.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it is received, because I think it's a really exciting thing too. But like you said, it's a different meta now in this whole like space. So I do think people are nostalgic for those times back then too, and I think
we got on like it was like 20 years ago, but it feels like 20 years ago.
No, it's good even what Max and 6-bit are saying though, because that's what we're trying to achieve. I'm trying to get the excitement back, because we all came as collectors. We've all got shitloads of NFTs just gathering dust.
Yeah.
There's been quite a lot of negativity the last couple of years, so we're going to try and get away from that a little bit.
Even if it's our own little bubble, you know what I mean? It's like come and hang out in our bubble and sort of,
it's kind of great for that, because like because NFTs can be whatever you want them to be. Like it doesn't have to be like $1 million 8 pictures or whatever. It can just be like fun. Like you can like you were saying earlier, because you can bring in any NFT asset. It can be something that you just drew in MS Paint, minted into a collection that you literally just created, and then brought into Metabattler to just.
I want to see that deck as well, the MS Paint deck.
The MS Paint
stuff
deck.
Like you were saying with your Funko, like I've got my Iron Maiden Funko set, and like after I completed that set, I got a physical drop from it, but then after that it's like it's just been collecting digital dust. Like no one really cares to look at it. It's not really popular, but if I can have a full Iron Maiden Funko deck and then like show that off and whoop people with it, then it's like, I don't know, it's a cool thing for like those of us that have been here for years, have years and years of different stuff we've been collecting, and this is a good way to show it all off in one place, and then also have like use for it, so you can actually use it, not just.
It will be kind of like like a living museum, and all like, do you know what I mean, and all this. And I think the way we can sort of like build the towers, we can reflect that in a kind of like a really fun way. Like we've got obviously we'll have a horror series 1 tower, and that'll talk about the history of the project and things like that, so it's a way to us to sort of commemorate and immortalize these things that we've loved, that I guess a lot of people wouldn't even know existed and stuff like that. So
definitely.
Apologies, but I am going to have to head off. The kids are already an hour after the bedtime, so I better not keep them too long.
The dog's gone mad as well.
Ooh, yeah, she's mad.
Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Give her a little spray for.
I was gonna do a giveaway here. I still have some leftover.
She mad.
Community packs, which was a collaboration between us and Ultra Rare.
Oh hell yeah! That's an OG throwback. Yeah, Richie, thanks for joining us. If you have to break away, that's.
I will do, but no, it's been great, and thanks a lot for all the enthusiasm. I'm enjoying.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Thanks for like reinvigorating like some of these NFT collections and stuff. Like I think it's a really cool.
Again.
Yeah,
even been away for too long.
Yeah, even next to the gameplay, just the like collector aspect of like making a deck and looking at other people's decks is an exciting prospect to me. So
we're going to bring mint numbers back as well. I'm a mint number fan. So, but anyway, yeah. Been great talking to you.
I'm sure we'll talk to you again once the game is like in 5 weeks or whatever when it's formally launched. So
100% will be. All right, catch you later, fellas.
Until next time.
Yeah.
I'll stick around for the giveaway, boys.
Yeah.
Shoot off.
There we go.
Yeah, let's do it. Damn.
All right, so we got a Grubfish up, !neon in your Wax wallet if you'd like to enter. We have 3 of these packs to give away. These are 1-card packs. And whatever you pull out of this, you can use in the Metabattler. Well, really, you can use anything, but this will have a slight boost for being a collaboration.
It will.
Oh, yeah.
There's also other stuff I'm excited about, but I'm not sure what I'm allowed to talk about as someone who's been beta testing it. But more details will come. There's more exciting stuff.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that. There's something else you wanted to talk about, did you say?
No, there's other stuff in the demo that like has to do with the gameplay and stuff that I don't know if we're allowed to talk about. So I'm excited to, once the game is out, dive in and share more of my theories about stuff.
Okay, interesting.
But the demo's been fun. It's also been
fun.
I'm glad
you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's really cool.
Been going back and forth with a developer trying to put some input on stuff that I think would be cool, and he's already implemented some of the stuff.
That's part of it as well. I think we're like, we've interrogated it and we've thought about it long and hard, but we know that as soon as people get their hands on it, it'll be like so many ideas coming back at us, and we're super open to like everything that's sort of feasible. We'll kind of try and implement, and so we think really cool we want it to be like a proper community thing, like, do you know what I mean? So people feel
it's the developer is also like initially part of the ultra rare collector community too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of, it's kind of like a really nice story in itself that we were trying to build a game for like pretty much from the start, but I've written an article about it actually, that but like we faced so much like roadblocks and difficulties, and kind of like the traditional sort of gaming world and the stigma to sort of like blockchain and stuff like that. So we really struggled to sort of find somebody to build the game for us. I mean, we were in talks with like sort of really good studios and stuff, and I think they picked our brains about NFTs, blockchains, and then it's like, actually, see you later, guys, kind of thing. So that was frustrating as well. Composer's like our biggest collector, and we'd started to develop the game with some developers, and it wasn't quite working. But he came on board, and as a collector as well, so it's built by somebody who loves this stuff. He's not just somebody coming in from the outside, sort of, gun for hire. Like, he loves NFTs, and like I say, our biggest collector. So him building the game is kind of like just such a nice full circle, like organic kind of thing. So yeah, it's just I'm really, really happy that it's kind of like worked out the way it has.
Right, I think that's super cool. That's also, it'll like, I feel like because he's part of the community, it's like easier to have the community like relay feedback and have it actually be heard.
I'd also say it's like built by collectors for collectors. Like, collectors have been kept in mind in every step of the game because it's made by someone who collects stuff. So like, it's not just like, okay, we're going to hire this out to some people who don't care about collecting and aren't collectors, and they're going to go make some system that works with the cards. It's like, when it's made by a collector, like, there's a lot of love that goes into every detail. And as someone who's been collecting some of this stuff, I was like, oh, there's like, this is really cool for me. And I don't know that would happen if you just hired a third party that was like trying to make a cool game with NFTs attached to it.
Yeah, I think that is something I hope people sort of get when they're playing it, that actually we have poured a lot of love into it. I hope that sort of comes through to people, but
I think that's something that's come through like throughout the entire like history of ultra rares existence, like the whole like passion and love for the space and for the collecting and for the experience, that always is like center stage like every time. So it's definitely still true to form on that front, which is which is all you can ever ask for, honestly. It's fucking awesome. I'm excited.
You've always said that, but like I remember when like the comic drop didn't go as well as everybody thought it would. Like you ended up airdropping a bunch of packs to anybody who bought the drop, and then released an entire separate comic that got airdropped to anybody who bought the pack. So it's like anybody who bought a pack got like 3 times the amount they paid for it. Like there's never been a drop where I've participated with Ultra Rare where it felt like I got screwed or you guys were just cash grabbing. It's always like community first, which is not how most of the collections on Wax win, where you have like much major IPs coming in, dropping, and then just leaving the space entirely and being like, okay, you guys figure it out. Like, we're not going to do anything fun for the collectors. We're just taking our money and we're going home. So it's been like the opposite experience of a lot of stuff. And Max was saying earlier, never did we buy ultra rare collectibles because they'd be usable in a game. Like that was never the pitch. Like, hey, you can get these and there's going to be an ultra rare game that comes out in 2 years. Like that was never the pitch. So you guys have always gone above what we expected, which we really appreciate as collectors and people that have been burned so many times in this space.
No, we're committed to doing it, and it's sort of like, you know, I'm glad that it's taken longer than we wanted, and people have asked about it, and we're like, no, it's coming, and it's quite frustrating when you can't like give it in that moment, but you know, we sort of, and like I was saying, I think it was sort of off the chat, how like, you know, because we are so focused on the collecting aspect, that there's been so many little things that we've added that have all sort of pushed out the sort of launch date as well. But we felt like that, you know, we kind of, you know, if we're doing it properly, like, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely like.
That's also the opposite of how most people operate here. They're like, we're going to release a half-broken thing, and then make you pay for it up front, and then
I mean, we're aware we sort of out on a limb in a way. You know, there's no token. It's kind of like different to sort of, you know, most things that exist in this space, but we hope that people will sort of appreciate that actually we are going sort of against the curve.
Yeah, I think it kind of helps taking your time in this space, because like if you rush into things, you're going to make the mistakes that everybody else makes. So just kind of sitting on the side and seeing other people mess up. At least we've done that as a collection, like just seeing so many people crash and burn, being like, okay, let's just not do what they did. Like it definitely helps not rushing things and taking your time.
And to be fair, you guys deserve loads of respect as well. You just always steady, straight, keep, you know, kind of like turning up, and that's hard to do as well. Like, you know, we sort of had to take a bit of a step back for like, you know, different things were going on, but yeah, massive respect to you guys. Just keeping at it.
Yeah, keeping the
because community. You love it. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of like it's hard to fake that. You didn't come just to make money from it. It's like, actually, this is really cool. And I think our sort of like idea is that we know there are collectors here who love this stuff because we are those collectors. We always say that, but it's true, you know. So we know that we're not on our own, but we might be in the minority, but that's fine. You know, I can deal with that. But
although it's worth noting also that like the way that you guys took a slower approach and stuff, it was at a time where, or like didn't make all those mistakes everyone else was making. It was at a time when making those mistakes would have paid you like very handsomely. You know, it wasn't like at a time where like, oh, you would have made those mistakes and like it would have suffered. It's like, no, like you would have made off very well. Like a lot of people at the time were doing a bunch of like low effort, high value bullshit. And
you know, if you'd done a token, you know, it was just like, but we were just like, that's not.
It's one thing to grind in like a bear market and when like the interest is low and build something cool because you're a fan of it, but it's another thing I think entirely to do that when like the getting is like, oh, you could literally just have like, you know, taken a photo of like your king bowel movement and had made like incredible amounts of money. At the time, everything, especially with the reputation you had, like in the beginning, like it's so easy to just like have failed the community but enriched yourself, and very few people did not, fall into that, even if it was unintentional. So like, yeah, huge respect. Ultra Rare, I think, is like, yeah, very, very much like the blue chip, one of the major blue chip collections in wax collectibles, in my mind, at least.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Like,
It's also a big influence in our collection because I mean we got into the space first as gamers and collectors, and we are artists professionally in real life outside of the space, but we didn't really know how the collector world worked, and like collecting your stuff and saying like, oh, like everybody wants the mint 13s, like people want mint numbers, like that was something I'd never even heard of or knew about, because like I'm more of a gamer. Max collects stuff. Max has some like collects magic cards, and he has some like figurines and stuff, but before wax, like I had never collected anything besides maybe like vinyl records, so which is like a very different thing, but like I didn't understand the collection stuff, so seeing you guys do it was like a blueprint for how we should do it correctly. So you guys have definitely helped us a lot just by existing and doing it right, because there were a lot of bad examples we could have followed, and following you guys was smart.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I've always been a collector ever since I was a kid, so it's sort of and when Richie introduced me to sort of like, kind of like it was with the Garbage Pail Kids, and I loved, I was a Garbage Pail Kid collector as a kid and stuff. So and then seeing how what we saw is how it didn't work, and we were like, collectors are getting like sort of like short shrift here, like, do you know what I mean? This is like getting treated quite poorly, and so we sort of saw everything that didn't work and tried to do the opposite of that. And I'm glad that it was noticed, and I'm glad that it sort of helped you guys and stuff. But yeah, and we just want to bring it back a bit, like sort of we got the new collection coming. It's going to be exactly the same. Lots of rewards, loads of cool art and characters.
Yeah.
And build the story as well, because we haven't really talked about this. The games, it's like a game. It's got a story. It's got lore. It's got things going on with it. It's, but that will all sort of unfold as we sort of go.
Yeah, nice. Is there a much of a tease already of the artwork for the Metabattler set?
Yeah, there's like, I mean, if you just on the when we share the video, the background, all the cards are like they're all sort of like cards from the collection.
They've also been posting some stuff in Telegram if you want to like.
Yeah, we share stuff on the Twitter. But yeah, I don't know if it's obvious that there's a new collection. It will become clear.
Nice.
Because I guess it's a game, and you don't have to own them to play or anything like that.
Here's a link if everybody wants to jump in. That's generally where like the news and also like stuff they haven't necessarily announced on Twitter will be talked about in there, just because people ask questions. So I feel like if you want the scoop, the cutting edge news, that's the place to be.
Or just come and talk some nonsense with us.
That too. If you want to talk about feet and see face swaps, that's a good place to do that as well. I'm going to launch this giveaway, but we can keep talking through it.
Oh, you know what's good about this giveaway? It's a single card community pack for the Ultra Rare set in our Neon Space collection. So what you should do with this, if you win it, is keep it until the Metabattler launches, then bring it into the game and see how good of a stats it gets. And if it's bad stats, open the pack, try again.
That's a great point, actually. Yeah, you could do that.
Pack, so.
Yeah, 100%. You could play with packs. Yeah.
Bring in the pack. It's a 1 card pack, and then if it didn't come in good, rip that pack open.
Oh, that's a nice little trick.
Right. Low pack.
Max is big into always keeping 1 pack from everything he opens. So I wonder if Max is going to make like a unopened pack set.
Oh yes, that's a good move.
That's really interesting. And I think that the way we built the game is, I think it will open up people's creativity to do lots of kind of like fun stuff with it. And
yeah. Oh man, that's cool. Unopened packs. I have a bunch of really cool unopened packs, like from the TMNT drop.
Yeah.
Still have like an unopened first ever.
Yeah, I'll have a load of unopened packs.
Looks like Grebnik is the winner. Congratulations.
Hello.
You got yourself a pack. I'll open another one. I have 3 of these we can give away. 3 We got mint 140, 157, and 153. These are also like 2,000 out of 2,900 have been burned, so these are mostly burned. 2/3 of them about. They're moderately rare.
Oh yeah.
Why are they showing up here?
There's also what you can blend them if you pull something good, get some blend tokens. So I guess there's that's another thing. If you like bring in some like common neon space stuff and it doesn't do well, just blend it. Pull it again, try again. Not too funny. That's cool. There's a lot of like ways that like the meta battler stuff can help like independent collections like gamify their stuff a little bit, huh?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that's fun. And I saw
there's also for
here.
Every collection on the entire blockchain. It's not just for like specific collections will have slight boosts, but they're pretty like moderate boosts. It's not, I don't know if the numbers are going to change or anything from the demo, but it's not like if you're not in a partner collection or like collecting ultra rare stuff, you'll have no chance at beating people that are. Like you can definitely compete and grind your way into whatever people can have from the beginning.
Yeah, Consumer Break was kind of saying the same thing I was saying a second ago earlier. He's saying, awesome how Meta Battler gamifies any art collection. He's already thinking about ways to reward the community for decks and add new hype to old NFTs. Yeah, straight up. Very
well, I
cool.
think that's it. It'll give like sort of communities an opportunity. Yeah, like you say, reinvigorate and have some fun with it, with their stuff, and it's all part of like what we sort of envisaged and the way it works.
Right. It's really cool. I don't know. It's definitely like it's exciting. What did I forgot if Richie shared what the tentative date was, or just was tentative.
Yeah, I think we're thinking about 5 weeks, but we don't have a sort of fixed date. We'll do our sort of our collection drop, and then I think we're still figuring it out. But the game will open maybe like we'll give it some time, like a day or so, and then we'll open the game. And I think that's the way we're thinking about it. Because we think it could be too frenetic or chaotic. Do you know what I mean? Trying to do everything together. So
yeah. No, that's pretty good. That's like pretty soon, within the next month.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it's not gonna be like we're not gonna draw it out longer than we need to, but we do think it makes sense to give it a bit of breathing space.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Also,
I'm excited to see what the you guys have kind of been talking about, maybe doing like live PvP where you can challenge streamers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that probably won't be ready about the launch, but that stuff excites me. I've been talking to the dev about like what I'd like to see for like tournaments and PvP and stuff, because I've been doing a bunch of these indie projects in the NFT space for a while, and like I was telling him what STG Football does for their tournaments, which is fun. They have like brackets and stuff, and you like challenge a player, and if you win, you move on, and it goes to the end. And like since it's NFTs, you could have like a specific NFT just made for the winner of a tournament that's like a unique one of one, and like that really brings communities together to compete for. And then like I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
I think what our plan is with PvP. So PvP won't be sort of ready straight out the gate, but what we want to do is sort of like allow people to create their own tournaments. So we think that will be like, and then we'll sort of use the same tools as anybody to we think that's like a much more fun way to do it. So then, again, it's giving the tools to the communities to be like, well, we'll play with that. We'll do a weekend, and so
you could also like, if you let us, you could do like, in order to enter this tournament, you must have X amount of this collection cards in your deck, and that could be a way for like us to reward our communities. Be like, oh, you have to collect our stuff. People that are collecting your stuff, only they can compete, and then if they win like a special artwork we make just for that. And like that's definitely like just more utility for anybody with the collection on Wax, like giving them a way to gamify their stuff and reward their community.
And it gets your partner. The partner's like creating like content that gets distributed through the game, and like it's a good synergy.
I think it's giving people the tools, isn't it, to sort of like,
yeah,
rather than
also,
it being, I mean, sort of like, yeah, it's just us and it's quite centralized. It's like, no, if you can do this, it's kind of like, well, it makes our life easier as well. Like, it's like people just creating things around the game all the time, and you know,
it's also clever as hell as an independent game developing kind of like team to put the tools out there for the community. So the community starts building in the direction that they actually want to see the development going, and then the developer can follow along versus
100%.
the developer trying to be like, I think this is what everyone wants, and then everyone being like, maybe. So I don't know. It's a clever way to do it, where it's just like, oh, let's like see what people come up with, and then the best and most popular of that, we'll do a version of that, like, you know, as an official Meta Battler version.
Yeah, totally. And it's because it's sort of like, you know, people are so creative in this space, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, people will conceive things that we wouldn't be like, oh, that's genius. And it's like, I think if you give people that, and then people are like engaged with it as well, and they care about it, and you know, I think that's sort of like, it's what we think we'll see, but yeah, it's kind of
that's cool.
Our attitude towards it.
It's very exciting. I think it's a very like. And like, I don't know, just the accessibility of it also very much excites me. The fact that like anybody who's been on Wax and has anything and like has a wallet and anything in it,
I mean, 30, you could pick 30 Wax NFTs, I imagine, for nothing. These, you know what I mean? Yeah, like so.
Like, I wonder if can I just sort the entire market by cheapest?
I'm excited to see like what weird decks people come up with. I'm sure there's gonna be some really troll decks, like only rug pulled NFTs and like
100%. And people, like I say, people creating like just stuff specifically for it. I think it'll be like, I mean, I think it'll be sort of post-launch down the line, but yeah, we'd like, I guess our plan is sort of like to reward the weird and the wonderful as well, because that's what, you know, entertains us. So I think we'll make that a part of the sort of community around it as well. Like the weirder the better, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna launch this giveaway.
It looks like right now 30, if you want the cheapest NFTs on the Wax blockchain, you can get 30 NFTs for 0.24 Wax, or about 1.6 cents.
There you go.
So that's very approachable.
What are those? Are those like
Farmers World token?
Then, like, I don't know. The thing about that though is I don't want my Farmers World token deck to represent my Wax collection. Like, I want my cool cards to be the good ones.
Well, you could for 1.5 cents, you could rip basically 30 Farmers World token packs and then just like dump their Meta Battler points, the good ones, into like your collectible stuff.
You still have to farm the Meta Battler points first, so you'd have to play with them for a while to get points, and then
I guess
you could just create your own deck. You don't even. I mean, I guess you need the sort of like the RAM stuff and to mint and that, but yeah, you could like. You don't even have to buy an NFT. You could just create your own. You don't like.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you can just make your own collection, and like your trash trade NFTs, Lewis.
Bit of effort, but you know,
you could. Lewis has a trash trade collection that you use to like instead of like sending NFTs from wallet to wallet, you do trade offers, so you be sure that nothing goes wrong. But
it's just drawn in MS Paint. It's not good looking.
I think it just says trash trade.
like a tester.
Caesar.
I think I took the Oreo picture and I made like an Oreo one. I think I also made like a test NFT that's like my Great Ape Society ape from over on like I forget what blockchain that's on, maybe Ethereum. But it's like an NFT I own on another blockchain, but I minted it as like a test NFT on Wax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a fair game, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, it's mine. It's mine on the other chain. But yeah, that's funny. So I guess before you even bring in like other blockchain stuff, I can just copy make like my own collection. That's like Max's NFTs not on Wax, and then just make.
Do whatever you want. I think that's kind of like the beauty of it. You just do whatever you want, like.
Yeah, that's too funny. Yeah. See, that's super funny. I wonder.
Super Break is saying put your face on a card and just have a deck of all your face.
Right. You do a bunch of different expressions. Yeah,
could
I don't know.
do-
See, that's
yeah.
like it's also more like incentive to do stupid creative stuff like that in NFTs because it's like I could do that already, but like why? No one's ever gonna see it. But now if it's
Yeah.
like, oh, and then I'll turn it into a deck and I'll like force people to fight me and I have to look at my face collection. That's hilarious.
And I think what I anticipate as well is I think we'll encourage collectors who wouldn't never like sort of who wouldn't consider themselves to be creative to actually create things. And we know as like creative people, that's like, you know, being creative is like one of the healthiest things you can be, you know. So we hope that will encourage people who wouldn't necessarily be creative to sort of like, oh, I could do this kind of thing. And
right,
you never know where that takes people and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
especially with the tools
a nice little
nowadays.
offshoot.
Yeah, the tools out there now too with like AI generative stuff and whatever. Like
Exactly.
you don't
Like
have to have the mechanical skills that you used to have to create something that you have in your mind and like share it with somebody now. You can.
so, like Richie is a classic example of what I'm talking about. So he's gonna, I think it's something he's gonna sort of share with people when we start streaming and stuff. But he's making, using AI, his own things to make his own deck of these sort of like his own like little collectible set, which is super cute. But like Richie's a great example because he's just not creative at all. But even he has started to be like, oh, I can make some. And we meet our own football teams, but he's actually, you know, creating characters and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, it's quite funny. But like you're right, AI. I know it's got like, you know, people can be quite divisive, but you know, it's.
I mean, I feel like there's nothing wrong with using AI to like create something that you aren't able to create without it. It's more of a thing about like if you're trying to pass it off or if you're trying to like, then I feel like that's weird. Like if you're like, oh, this is like,
sure.
But even then, I don't know, do whatever you want. The whole thing is just, it's another tool. Like you're still the artist. Like
they have tags for that now on like the marketplaces too. Like if a collection uses AI in the artwork, it just pops up with an AI tag. And I feel like as long as you're not trying to trick people into thinking it is an AI, like there's no problem with that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I also think AI makes really fucking cool artwork. Like there's definitely wild shit out there that like I've seen some fun images that I wouldn't have seen before if it wasn't for that. And again, it's like made by people. Like I had a fun like idea and I was actually able to do it because of AI, where it was like I couldn't come home for the holiday one year for Christmas. And so I made a version of like how the Grinch stole Christmas, but like with myself as the Grinch and like, oh, because couldn't, and it ruined Christmas for everybody in Whoville or whatever. And like all the artwork could be generated and he made it in like a couple hours, like sent it. And it was a fun little like, oh, sorry, I can't be there. And here's a funny little laugh about it. And cool. I don't know. It's not like, I guess I wouldn't, I guess the thing is like, I wouldn't have commissioned somebody to draw that stuff for me. And like, I didn't take work from something, but it's still like, I don't know. It's definitely a gray area. It's
I don't think we. It's a tool to me. It's kind of like a tool that can be used, but I don't think it's something we would ever like sell.
I agree. I feel like it's a tool that can be used.
People, but we wouldn't sort of like any art we sell is like that's original art by artists,
Yeah, I feel like just like any tool, there's perfectly normal and like moral ways to use it, and there's also immoral ways to use it, and it's up to the end user. Kind of, it's like the tool itself isn't inherently evil, in my opinion.
I can show off. I used AI yesterday I was trying to like make a Woofy meme, and I can't draw dogs, so I like had AI generate me a Shiba Inu with a crown.
That's pretty cool.
Hey.
And you can see it has too many feet though. Like it has 6 feet. If you look at the
naturally.
So then I went through GIMP and I removed the extra feet. I like used a brush to brush that together. I cut out the background with the select tool, and then I made the keep calm and woofy on, which is supposed to be like the posters
and you changed the tongue color to the woofy tongue color.
Yeah, I changed the color to be blue. And I found the font that they use for like the keep calm, carry on. This is like
I think that's super cool. Like, great use of AI.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to sell this. I just want to post this for fun because people are fighting in the Woofy Discord. They're arguing about something, and I was just like, y'all should chill out and just keep calm and Woofy on. But that's what I use AI for, dumb stuff like that, where it's like, this took me like 30 minutes. And I also think it works good when it's like I didn't just post the AI image, like I added my own stuff. So I think it's cool, like when you can use it as a tool to just quickly generate something when you have a creative idea.
I've used it on straight up professional projects, like doing visual effects work for somebody, where it was like, normally I would have to rotoscope or do some type of matting, and it's just like, oh well, there's AI software that'll do that for me, and it's the same thing that I would have spent maybe 3 hours on. I now did it in like 15 minutes, and then like, oh, I found a nice background for this like set extension, but the background itself wasn't big enough. I could just go into Photoshop and AI extend that image. So like what I like about it extends, and then it gives me options like, oh cool, and then now this becomes part of a larger matte painting. Like there's really solid, like, and it's not like I couldn't have done that without the AI. I would have extended the painting myself, but that shit takes a lot more effort and time than just like cropping it, extending the crop, and being like, generative fill this shit. And now it's like, cool, instead of spending 30-40 minutes extending like my background plate for a matte painting, I spent 3 to 5 minutes picking the best option that the AI is generating. And I still feel like I'm making the artwork, but it's also like we were talking about, it's also just a tool that's part of the bigger thing. So just like with Lewis's thing is like, the final product wasn't an AI like output. The final product used AI maybe even more heavily than something else, but it's, I don't know, totally amazing and awesome. And I'm able to get a lot of work done very quickly because the AI does the rotoscoping for me. And the amount of rotoscoping that it does is like, this would have taken me hours, or if I outsourced that, it would get outsourced to like, usually to like Korea or India, and then I'm paying like 75 cents a frame, which this stuff does it for like $5 a month.
Which I think it's like,
in that sense, yeah, you're definitely cutting people like are losing work, but at the same time, that work was like, it was not like a technical, it wasn't like an artistic job. First of all, it's like a very like technical, you're just like hand babysitting like a mask, but that work was already just being outsourced and like farmed off in like some foreign country where someone's being exploited and paid like nothing. So like, even without the AI, like that work was already fucked. I don't know, it's
I also think it's a tool.
Like,
it's a tool like anything else. Tools can be used good for good stuff and bad stuff. You can hand me a hammer and nails. I can't build
put a picture up, or you can smash my skull in.
Give it to a carpenter, a hammer and nails. They can make something beautiful. Me, nothing. Just like you can give AI like generated stuff to somebody who isn't a visual artist, and like, yeah, it'll look okay, but like most people can see when stuff is AI and they're like, this looks soulless and not good. But like, if somebody is able to use their visual style and generate specific elements from an AI and then turn it into something totally different, like you could actually make something beautiful out of AI. So I think it really is like, it's just a tool, and tools can be used to different levels of whether it's good or not. And I don't think like everything is bad that is AI, but also not everything is good. Like it's just a
text
tool.
AI is insane too. Like the other day I used it to like, I was trying to figure out like what day something was happening in like this launch schedule for some like crazy crypto thing. And so I literally just copied the entire like white paper section about the launch that was like 3 pages long, pasted it into like an AI, and then I was like, hey, what day is this happening? Boom. Like it answered correctly. Like it like read all that shit for me and was just like, here's the like tidbit that you would have had to spend all this time finding this.
Yeah, it's phasing out Google for me, sort of like ChatGPT. Like I'll go to that and ask it, and it's just it
finds so like better
succinct, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy how well it works. Or like to help me understand, like when I get into something that I'm like, I don't really understand what's happening here, or the math behind this. Like it really does break it down for you, where it's like, here's paste something and here's like, what is this, like reword this, or tell me like what does this mean in layman's terms, and like it does, like it's such, I don't know, it's really really impressive. So like if you're ever looking into something, like I don't know, the other day I was like looking up how like a specific like security contract like rolls over its like interest rates, and it's really difficult to figure that out. And like the math, there's like so many different like equations on that specific like asset, and like it broke it down in a way that was like, yeah, like talking to a fucking expert. Like, it was really wild.
Yeah, and you can sort of, like you say, break it down as like talking to like a child, and
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Explain this like I am what I am.
You literally just like, I understand
prompt.
Yeah, I understand everything you said except for this. Is like, what does that part mean? Oh, here's a more detailed version. It's like, and it'll just keep going until you get it, and it never like gets frustrated or like fed up with your stupid like questions because you just don't get it. I don't know. It's really fucking cool.
All right, I'm gonna do last call for this giveaway. Exclamation point Neon in your Wax wallet. We are giving away our last community pack from the Ultra Rare Court, which was a collaboration we did with Ultra Rare, and this will work.
Is this the last pack you've got?
What's the last pack in the giveaway wallet? I just sent these over from my personal wallet. I have more.
Every one of them is on the market after this.
I still have some in the Polish.
I think all of these actually got airdropped, right? That was the community pack.
Yeah, these were airdropped. A certain percentage to people holding Ultra Rare stuff, and then a certain percentage to people holding Neon Space stuff, but they were all freely distributed airdrops. And then because I hold my Neon Space stuff, I got some airdrop to me, I think. Yes. We probably held some away for giveaways too. We usually do that. Like it's like 20% airdrop to each collection and a certain percentage for giveaways. But these have been all freely distributed. And I have a couple left in my personal wallet because I kind of like Max. I like to save packs of collections I open. So I always have like one of those unripped packs. If there's something crazy in the pool, I can be like, it might be in this pack, but
yeah, that Looty pack is getting pretty wild. There's only like 4 or 5 of those left unopened.
Really? Wow.
Right? It's like very few, like less than 10, I think.
Yeah, we have one of those on our giveaway wallet. We're saving for a rainy day.
Someone's gonna have a good giveaway day one of these days.
All right, I'm gonna launch this giveaway. That way we don't keep John too
long.
That'd
be another one.
Pretty late for you.
That's true. I gotta make a full Looty deck. I guess that would be the only like. Is there when the NFTs are being uploaded? Is there some kind of like screening that like would remove like nudity or something like that?
We do have sort of like filters on, so it's to your sort of preference. But I think we put them on default sort of censor just for like streamers and stuff, so they don't get caught out. But
oh, nice, that's cool.
We've thought of all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so no one can come challenge me on stream and have like a troll deck with like shock content in it.
Well, that might be, and that's really, I think that's where we would draw the line, and that collection would be banned from the game. Anything like we sort of offensive, like racist, etc.
Yeah,
we won't tolerate that. But anything else, like I mean, we're not censors, but we don't want offensive stuff.
As long as it's legitimate artwork and not exclusively offensive to be offensive stuff.
Yeah, you'll know that. I mean, we might have to draw some clear guidelines around that, but we know, like I think anyone with sort of like a bit of common sense would be like, right, that's people are just doing that to be offensive. But any nudity, that's not, I mean, we're like, nudity. I think the filter's set default to be sort of filtered, but then you can just click a button and take it all off. So
that's cool. That's definitely, it's already enough to cover it. And then if there is anything beyond that, I'm sure there's like a report, like we've been talking about. The whole thing is like very community forward. So you like police that nonsense anyway.
Yeah, we hope so. And we'll set up some sort of like stuff, so people can contact us and be like, this should go. Yeah, so these are some of the characters from the new collection.
Oh, these are dope. Ooh,
I like they got the dice.
How big is the new set? Do you or can you say?
There will be 120 across the complete set.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right. Nice. I have to go through the whole set bonus again.
But
that'll be fun. It's been a while.
The way they'll be distributed will be different to previously.
Oh.
So what I mean by that is not we'll have packs, and you can get your packs and stuff, but then playing the game, there'll be a a certain section of the collection that you only get through playing the game.
Like the distribution is tied to Metabattler and the launch of the gaming of the set.
So you'll be sort of like so if you think about the way we normally do it, you'll get like, you know, the sort of for the horrors you'd have like there were like 50 sort of like in the main collection, then you had like the 10 subset that you'd get if you collected the 50.
Yeah.
So the reward cards essentially will be, it's not finalized, but I think you'll get some for collecting and then you'll get some for playing, is what we're thinking.
Okay. So, okay, TBD, but that sounds cool though. Like to
yeah.
Tie them
so we
together.
want it's sort of like balancing it between, we want you know, reward collectors obviously, but also we want people who are playing and to get, you know, kind of like a nice bonus of like you're playing the game, having fun, but it's like, oh yeah, nice, I've won a pack.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like just finding free NFTs in their wallet?
Yeah.
I still get airdropped crypto monkeys every now and then, and it's still a like rush.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's like,
it doesn't happen as often, but it still happens.
Right, boys, I'm gonna have to get off, but it's been a great to catch up with you after all this time.
Yeah, we're about to end too. We're gonna raid into the online inn. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining us, John. I'm sure we'll talk to you again in the next couple weeks when the game is closer to launching.
Exciting stuff. Also, like, keep a lookout for some of the decks I'm going to be building, once this game launches.
I'm gonna obliterate them.
Well, okay, maybe we'll see how many farmers.
I'm getting cocky. But yeah.
It's gonna be so fun to like challenge people's decks and like talk smack when you're doing decks and stuff.
I think it's gonna be like endless source of like just banter and just like fun for people. So
yeah, it's definitely like an exciting way to just like kick up some excitement for my old NFTs, just to like, because I have so many things. Like once you talked about like, oh, my old like this or those or like all my unopened packs, I'm like, oh shit, there's so many different like things that I want to like flex. Like I was saying, I list my 666 card on the market at like a crazy, I'm not trying to sell it, I just want people to see I have it. So this is like the next level of that. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, goodbye everybody. Thanks for joining us. We will be streaming again tomorrow around this time, so until then, hope you have a good day or a good night, and peace out, everybody.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
All right.